Many people dream that living abroad is the perfect life. A new culture, new food, new environment, a new version of yourself. However, the harsh reality is that living abroad is not for everybody. The truth is that living abroad requires a mental shift, and not everyone can handle that. I've seen several people after a year just go back to their respective countries, and some people after a few months can't take it. In this video, I will show you and tell you 5 ways that living abroad is not for you, and perhaps you could fix them after watching this video. Fix your expectations and fix your mindset. Let's get to it. The first sign that living abroad is not for you is that you are unable to respect the culture and accept the culture that you are now living in. Over the years, I have met several foreigners who are constantly complaining about the culture. Whether it's culture in daily life or about how things are done at work, they're constantly complaining. Several foreigners as well are not interested in learning the language, not even basics. They're just walking around everywhere they go, to the store, to the convenience store, everywhere, and just speaking in English, expecting everyone to just speak in English and understand them. This is a very entitled and consumeristic mentality. You didn't go abroad and are not going abroad to grow and contribute. You just went abroad to consume, to have an easy life, to take and give nothing. Think of your own country and people going there to move there, whether they're immigrating or just going there to work. You would want them to learn the language and adapt and respect your culture, but instead they're not. Look what's happening in the United Kingdom and in Europe. Several people are just not respecting the culture and ruining it. And maybe you're not ruining another country to that level, but you get what I'm saying. You're just being a parasite. It is always good to go to another country with an open mind, respect, and show appreciation. You don't have to like and agree with everything, but humility goes a long way. Because remember, they didn't have to give you a visa to live and work there. The second reason as to why living abroad may not be for you is because you are too attached to family. I'm not saying that you can't love your family and keep in touch with them. Family is a very sacred thing. But what I am saying is that if you cannot overcome being homesick. When I was in college, I met several people who lived away from home, but they would spend several weekends or perhaps every weekend going home, staying with their family, eating mom's delicious chocolate pies. Yes, they were on their own, but they always knew that they could always go home and have that comfort. In the West, we are often told that you become an adult. Real adulting happens when you move out, when you're on your own. And yes, even if you're on your own, like I said, you're not too far from home. But when you're overseas, you are several thousands of miles away. Several thousand miles away in a completely different time zone away. You are nowhere near them. You won't be able to just go home whenever you want as easily. And yes, you may be blessed enough to have parents that can afford to visit you. I've met some people who they have family that visit them, and that's a very beautiful thing. But when you're abroad, that's a whole new level of adulting, and you'll have to adjust and learn to just adapt and handle your own problems with either therapy or just find yourself a good, solid community of friends that you can meet. The third reason as to why living abroad may not be for you is that you see living abroad as fixing your life. There is that saying, having a fresh start. While living overseas is a beautiful opportunity and a wonderful experience, life does not stop just because you change locations in the world. Trauma still exists, depression still exists, bad days still exist, and going overseas will not erase all your problems. You still have to work on yourself. I know this because from personal experience, I had to learn the hard way. Any human being, in order to thrive, they have to be the best version of themselves. And you cannot be the best version of yourself if you're not dealing with whatever's holding you back. And like I said, this does not disappear just because you're going abroad. Reason number 4 as to why living abroad may not be for you is that you're impatient. You'll be impatient with the process. When you go overseas, it takes time to really find your rhythm. You will get lost several times in the beginning. You will try to ask people for directions because you have no idea where you are. You could even have your translation app. And several people will just walk away and ignore you because they don't want to speak in English, or they don't know how to communicate in English, or they're just freaked out that a foreigner is trying to speak to them. This was my experience in Korea. My first couple months there were really hard because I was constantly getting rejected by people who I was just trying to ask directions for. Yes, Some people were nice and would help. Very often, people will just walk away from you, even some foreigners too. There will also be constant language barriers. You will not know what's being said to you. As time goes on, if you try to learn the language, it'll get better. But in the beginning, it'll be like being on another planet. You can't get angry at those things. Why should someone be responsible for your problem of not communicating? You're in their country. Basic things like how to order food at a restaurant will be hard. Basic things like just knowing how to communicate will take time. How to understand what's being said to you will take time. Finding meaningful connections in relationships will not happen right away, and it will take time. Knowing how to use apps, how to order food online, how to shop online, how to get around town, it will take time. Where to get off at a certain stop on the bus or subway will take time. You get what I'm saying. The whole process is long, but if you stick with it, it will get better in the end. But if you just expect going abroad to your life will be easy right away, it's not for you. Be prepared to be patient. Reason number 5, and the final reason as to why living abroad may not be for you, is that you struggle with being the outsider. I'm going to be very direct that if you are a foreigner living in another country, it doesn't matter how good the language you can become fluent. How much the culture you love and assimilate into and blend into, you will always be the foreigner, and that will always be your label, and that's how you'll always be seen. And you'll never be fully accepted by society. Of course, you can make some friends with some locals, even find love with a local person and marry them perhaps, and that makes life a little easier. However, having these benefits will not change the reality. There are several expats who know their place. They live their lives. They know the basics when it comes to the language, or they know more. They just go about their business and enjoy their lives, and they're okay with just being the guests in another country. But if you expect your opinion to be above your bosses, above local colleagues, I have bad news for you. If you have a dispute with someone at work who is a native person, 9.9 times out of 10, they'll always take the native person's side. My first couple years of living abroad was difficult in the workplace because I was so arrogant, and I was constantly getting into conflict with my co-teachers because I wanted my way or no way. After those experiences, I now know that at work, just do what the local teachers want, show them respect, because you don't want trouble. You came overseas to live your life and reap the benefits. Don't make life hard for yourself. Don't get into conflict with local colleagues. Just do what they want. Know your place. This doesn't just apply to work life, it applies in daily life as well. Now, if you're watching this video and you think that you could adapt to living overseas, or you think you could change your mindset, how about you think about teaching English abroad? Something that has changed my life and the lives of thousands of people around the world. Go to my Stan store. The link is in the description below, and it's also on my profile. There you can find all the services I provide for your benefit to help you. And if you need someone to talk to, perhaps you need help with knowing how to teach English abroad, how the process is like, what you need, then book a one-on-one consultation with me. The link is also in the description below. You don't have to be afraid. Take the leap like I did, and you won't regret it. Thanks for watching this video. I hope it was helpful, and I'll see you in the next one.